What is going on, everyone? Welcome into Big Time Football Talk. So I want to react to last night's championship game. Alabama defeats Ohio State 52-24 in a just an outstanding performance by Alabama's offense, to say the least. This was just such a dominant performance, mostly on the offensive side of the ball. But Devontae Smith is just a stud at wide receiver, and some teams just going to go get so lucky to get that guy. What's incredible about Smith is just how effortlessly he just, catches the ball and just picks up chunks of yardage and gets open. And Najee Harris, just an unbelievable career at Alabama. Came into Bama, didn't necessarily play right away, but became the hero late in his freshman year championship game and the championship win over Georgia. But this offense was just unreal. And last year you get the 2019 LSU offense, and you're like, can there really be an offense similar to that? And in 2020, Alabama says, you know what, we can do something similar to that, and go on to finish it off against a blue blood and one of the top three programs in the country in Ohio State, and then LSU, last year finishing off against Clemson. Just unbelievable. So I can't really, it's hard for me to put into words what I saw last night. It was just so outstanding by Alabama, and Nick Saban wins his 7th national title for the Crimson Tide. So he's going to go down as the best college football coach to do it, and the dynasty rolls on, and it's kind of crazy. I've been watching Bama football. I've been watching college football closely for over 10 years now, and I can just remember the winning that first one in 2009 when McCoy got hurt, and when they had Trent Richardson, Mark Ingram, and then in 2011 they had such a dominant defense, and it just continues. And I was one of those people that was right there saying that this might be one of Saban's best teams. This was a very under the radar team. I say every year there's always a team that's kind of got that heart of a champion, and you see it early on. I saw Bama against Texas A&M and Georgia. They look like a team that was destined to have a big year and destined to cap it off with not just a conference championship, but likely a national championship. And I saw that in 2013 Florida State. I saw that in the 15 Bama team. I saw that in the 17 Bama team. And last year's LSU team, you started to see that early on too. I think that early game against Texas, just like the early game against A&M for Bama, you kind of just get a feel that there's something special. And I think that's why Najee Harris and Leatherwood and some of the the big names, some of the the award winners, Najee Harris, the Doak Walker, Leatherwood, the I forget the trophy's called, but best lineman. I think they knew this team had a chance to be very special this year, and that's what Nick Saban said. This was just a close-knit group, and they worked so hard together. And he was crying last night. It just shows that this team really wanted to be something special. And with all the distractions this year, and in 2020 and COVID, Alabama comes out victorious against a great Ohio State football team with a lot of talent and a future or a likely top 5 pick in Justin Fields. But yeah, it's funny because Bama has really made their offense just such a quick strike and high potent offense, and still very stout on the defensive side of the ball. But they understand that in the modern college football, you're not just going to be able to hold teams to 3 to 7 points like the 2011 Bama team. I think they gave up like 6 or 7 points a game, and this era of college football, you have to score a lot of points to win, and you're likely going to give up, at least 20 points a game, and that was the case last night. But in the other end of it, their offense was just so high potent, and even Devontae Smith with 215 yards, 3 touchdowns, and basically a half of football was just unreal. So wish the best of luck for Smith's health, and it was awesome to see Jalen Waddle out there playing. That was the first thing that crossed my mind when they said that it was a broken ankle the first time, was that could he be back for the championship game, because that was October 24th, I believe, against Tennessee. It happened on a kick return, and first thing that crossed my mind was, could Waddle be back for the one of the college football playoff games or the championship game at the latest? And he returned, had a few catches, and looked pretty good. Was a little bit hobbled, but he just he's got to get used to running on that foot again. So, but I thought last night it was kind of weird. I had the feeling that either last night would be a close game or Alabama could potentially blow them out. I did not really see Ohio State winning big like they did against Clemson, and Alabama ended up rolling and covering the spread at Bama -9. I thought that Bama would win by 7. My initial prediction was 49-42, but the way it played out was the way I thought it would play out, except I thought Ohio State would be a little bit closer. I knew that Bama was going to score. Ohio State was likely not going to stop them. I think they had 2 stops against Bama the whole night, 2 or 3 stops. The one coming on the Mac Jones fumble. I knew that Ohio State would likely stop Bama a few times because Ohio State pass defense was very poor, not only just last night but the whole season. So I knew that Ohio State would have to keep scoring, and I knew that likely Alabama offense would just keep scoring too much, where Ohio State's offense couldn't keep up as well, and that was kind of what would do them in. But that kind of was the case. But that was the case to an extreme point. Alabama actually came up with more crucial stops too. But credit to Ohio State. That was still a great football team and a great season from them. They had a couple starters out, but I think with even Tyreek Smith and them playing and then Sermon not getting hurt, I still think it would likely be a similar outcome. But for the most part, guys were at full strength, and Bama did lose Jordan Battle earlier in that game to the targeting. But I think that he was a little bit happier knowing that his team got it done in the end, even though he didn't get a chance to compete for the full football game. But I don't think you just shouldn't just. I think these last 2 seasons, what's been incredible to me is LSU and Bama is they haven't really been challenged a whole lot at all, which is. You see, when a team has a championship run like that, they usually are challenged, 1 or 2 games. And that was kind of the case with Bama versus Florida, and then last year LSU versus Bama. They were challenged a little bit, but both those games there was kind of never a doubt that they weren't gonna win the game. With some teams in the past, there was like Clemson in 2016. They had the 2 tight games. One, they actually lost against Pitt, and then the other one they barely escaped to, who was it, Louisiana Monroe or something, Louisiana Lafayette. So, a lot of championship teams, have that one loss or that one game where it just doesn't look like they're going to win, but somehow pull it out. And, that wasn't necessarily the case for LSU and Bama. They were just so consistent. Neither offense had an off game, to put it that way. They just basically rolled offensively. The only way that it was close was because the other team was putting up points too. Case in point, the Florida game. Florida and Trask with the weapons and Pitts and Tony put up a lot of points to keep Florida hanging around in the game. So, but yeah, it was a nice way to end the year in a season that a lot of people didn't think would get done. So, yep. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the NFL playoffs. So, Buffalo looked pretty good in their win over the Colts. I think that I like that Josh Allen just continually made plays, and there's just so many times he got outside of the pocket. And when Josh Allen gets outside of the pocket, you just kind of hold your breath because you're just waiting for him to hit a downfield shot. But the Colts fought hard, and I was happy to see that was a very close, competitive game. And also the Cleveland Browns with a outstanding win against Pittsburgh, jumped on them early, and I think that kind of took a lot of the life out of Pittsburgh. And I was very happy to see the Browns play a great game and get out to a big 28-0 lead early on. Was super fun to see. And if you're a Browns fan or just an NFL in general, it's you're happy for a team that's really had 18 years of 18 years of tough luck and not being the best franchise, to say the least. But yeah, so I just wanted to touch on that. And Taylor Heineke played a really good football game against Tampa. I was happy that game was competitive too. Great job by Tom Brady and Tampa Bay to get it done, but Heineke made a lot of plays in a game that I really thought if there was the one game that Saturday I thought would be a blowout was the Tampa Bay Washington game, but Heineke made plays and kept him in it, and they gave him a lot of pats on the back that great job for keeping them in the game, keeping them competitive, and a game that a lot of people thought could get ugly, and it was a game that I really would have liked to see Alex Smith play in, but so credit Tampa Bay, credit Taylor Heineke, and good weekend of football capped off last night by Alabama. Big victory over Ohio State. So thanks for tuning in, guys, to this clip of Big Time Football Talk. Make sure to stay tuned for more clips from the show. Till next time, peace.